know yourself. I remember being in my 20s and landing that job I really wanted and identifying with that title and wanting to climb the ranks within the company and taking that on as an identity before really getting to know what it was that I was intrinsically motivated by. And I think the word passion can get thrown around, or these words that describe this like blissful state when we're working. And I think what's more realistic is getting to know yourself on such an intimate level that you understand what intrinsically motivates you, and then finding a role out there in the world, or a job if you want to call it that aligns with what intrinsically motivates you. And so then it becomes less about the organization helping assign a title to you and then climbing a rank or a ladder, but you really outwardly expressing what it is that you know is so deeply true within you.
You're listening to the Fitness Business Podcast. We'd like to thank this month's premier sponsor, ABC Financial, the leaders in software and payment processing solutions for the health and fitness industry. Welcome along to the Fitness Business Podcast. I'm your host Chantal, and September is our Women in Fitness Month. During the month, we're featuring accomplished and inspiring women from both inside and outside the industry. They join us to share their stories, their experience, and their advice so that we can learn, grow, and become better, more successful business professionals. Today's guest is Lindsey Rainwater, who is a particularly relevant expert to have on the show because not only is she an experienced advisor in the fitness industry, but she's also the founder of WIFA, the Women in Fitness Association. I invited Lindsey on to come and tell us all about WIFA and what the goals are for the association. Also during our chat, we talk about transformational change in the fitness industry. Lindsey gives us her predictions for what the industry will look like in the next 5 years, and she shares great career advice for all women. Also later on in the show, I chat to Cassie Lynn Lambert, the creator of the Lift Like a Boss program. She's a full-time business owner and a busy mum, and she manages her time with a system that she calls the Me Time Mindset. It's a great ritual that she uses to stay on top of a busy workload, and it's something that I think many of us can also use. Plus, I've asked her to come and share that on the show with us, and she's created a fantastic PDF download for the FBP family. So make sure you listen out for that a little bit later on in the show. Before we get into this week's main interview with Lindsey Rainwater, though, I wanted to first thank our podcast partner, ABC Financial. ABC Financial leads the health and fitness industry in software and payment processing solutions. If you want your business to thrive with the most advanced club management software, comprehensive payment processing, and customer service that is second to none, choose ABC Financial. You can request a demo at www.abcfinancial.com. Lindsey, welcome along to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Now, what a huge year 2017 has been for you. Now, you were named as one of the 2017 IHRSA Rising Stars. You founded and launched the Women in Fitness Association. And most importantly and excitingly, as we're recording this very soon, maybe sooner than we realise, you're going to be welcoming a new member to your family. So congratulations on all of that.
Oh, thank you so much. I feel very fortunate, very lucky. Thank you.
What an incredible year. Now, last week during the Pre-Core Quickfire 5, you mentioned to me that you have a bit of a daily ritual that is very important in your life. So do you want to share with us what that ritual is, plus maybe any other apps or systems that you use to actually stay focused and to stay on top of all of those things that are happening in your life?
Yes, I'd be happy to. So the gratitude and daily appreciation habit is, I think, what you're referring to. Yeah?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. So it's something that, I was challenged. It's been about, 6 years now that I've had a daily gratitude practice. And I had someone bring into my awareness, of course, there's the power of positive thinking. And I read the book, The Secret, and things like that many years ago. But I didn't really realize how much our thoughts can truly shape our experiences until I started this daily gratitude habit. And so one of the apps that I've most recently fallen in love with using, I haven't used this all along, but most recently, I'm using an app called the 5-Minute Journal. And it prompts you as to really think about just a couple of gratitudes in the morning. And then it prompts you in the evening to come back to reflecting on your day and what were you grateful for the day. And I started my gratitude practice making a list of 10 things right when I woke up in the morning, what I was grateful for. And then at the end of my day, I had a journal by my bedside and I would reflect on the things that I was most grateful for that happened that day. And so I've noticed that app has kind of condensed my practice and made it that much easier to manage because it's in my notifications on my phone. And I love that it prompts me to also add a photo. So I have this photo journal that is also goes along with the gratitudes that I listed.
I really like the sound of that because I was aware of the 5-minute journal as a journal, a physical journal, but I didn't know about the app. So I'm so excited to hear about that.
Yeah, it's great. And the appreciation part of it that goes along with it is something that my husband and I do when we come back to our day. Typically if you have a spouse or someone you're in a relationship with, you have the old, how was your day conversation at some point, right? And we decided to start a ritual either over dinner or before bedtime, depending on when we see each other that day, where we say out loud to each other what we really appreciated about our day, like what happened that we really appreciated, and then an appreciation for each other. So something like, sweetheart, thank you so much for taking the laundry to the dry cleaners today. I knew I wasn't going to have time to, and I really appreciate you doing that. And so kind of nurturing that primary relationship as much as you can.
And do you find that having that practice in your day at the beginning of the day and at the end of the day, does it just help your mindset when it comes then to all of the other day-to-day activities that you need to accomplish in that day?
Absolutely. Because for me, I have a starting point and a finishing point that have that have a similarity and continuity. And one of the other apps that I'll list 2 other apps that mean a lot to me, but one of them is the Headspace meditation app. I've been using it now for quite some time and actually downloaded the pregnancy pack while I've been pregnant. And it prompts me throughout the day to kind of take breathing breaths and things like that. And so I think having these little things throughout the day, whether it's supported by my iPhone or supported by, my relationship, my primary relationship, it's these coming home points so that no matter what's going on or where I'm traveling, there's continuity.
And you mentioned there's one other app that you also enjoy?
Yes, it's called Todoist, and it's an app, and I almost say to-do list every time, but it's an app in the App Store, and it's a to-do list organizer, and I love it because you can organize things by project, by day. You can sync them to emails. Like, it's a very robust to-do list tool, and it keeps me on my toes. So it's an opportunity for me to unload my brain regularly and create a systemized way to get things done.
And did you say it's called To-Do List or Todoist?
Ist.
Oh,
IST. So it's to-do and then IST. I know, I almost say list every time, but if you search for it in the App Store, it's actually Todoist, like one big word.
One big word. Okay. Well, I'll do the groundwork for all of our listeners. I'll go and search for it and we'll put the link in today's show notes. So thank you so much for sharing those. There's 3 really great recommendations on apps that we can use. Now, Lindsey, you actually, in your role within the industry, you help people and you help organizations enjoy transformational change. Can you explain to us what is the most common example of a major organizational change that a fitness facility might actually experience?
Absolutely. Well, so transformational change to me is, it doesn't mean you have to be okay with it per se, but really grappling with this idea that we're all in constant motion. Everything is, the idea that things will be the same for any period of time is a myth, and that the more rooted in reality that we are with an ideal plan, the more successful we can be. And so when I think about a lot of whether it's the fitness organizations that sell equipment or education, the clients that I work with, and then also the health clubs that they serve, I think that change is the theme that we see the most that people have a hard time confronting, because it's such our consumers, today's consumer, the fitness consumer that's coming into the club, or even the club operator that's consulting with an equipment provider, because of the digital era and how fast things are changing, it's really less about knowing the right answers. It's more about being agile enough to open your mind to not knowing everything, but knowing the right questions to ask. And so in a lot of the work that I do, it's focusing on agility and how can health clubs, how can the people supporting our industry think about today's consumer and how their life is radically changing on a regular basis and how to support that. So whether it's systems implementation to organize people within the club, whether it's, the companies implementing strategy to support what's coming next. I think what's a big part of our health clubs is if I can, order up on Amazon Prime all my groceries and have them delivered, and that's the consumer experience I have through Amazon. If my health club doesn't have similar features and functions in the way that I check into the club, then there's going to be a miss and the consumers are going to start to lose faith in our industry if we're not up with it. So those kinds of changes are a lot of the things that I help fitness facilities think about and then help providers also consider.
Now, as I mentioned right at the very beginning, you, of course, very recently have founded the Women in Fitness Association. So can I ask you, Lindsey, with everything that you already do for our industry, what was it that motivated you to launch WIFA?
So for me, what WIFA is really all about is giving people a place to connect and a hub for women to regularly be with other women. I noticed this year being at industry events, I was really craving a deeper dialogue and thinking to myself, I know within other industries, there's these specialties or, focus groups or people that, gather, whether it's, and I've also been a part of the Fitness Technology Council for, it's been a couple of years now where I've gone to those round tables every year at IHRSA. And then I love like that, okay, we're all here talking about the common theme. And I was like, where are all my ladies at? Like, where can I find that? And so really it came from doing some research and realizing that there were events, but not like an ongoing dialogue. And so I created it out of need of really wanting to provide something that I was craving, truly.
And tell us, what are the goals for the association?
Really the goal is to support women in reaching their career aspirations and seeing them thrive to their fullest potential. And I know for me, a huge part of my journey has been mentorship and having someone that could see a few paces ahead of me what I was capable of before I had grown into it, and me being willing to have a trusting relationship with someone and taking those risks. That's been where my largest career leaps or moves have come from. And I want other people to find that. I think that sometimes it's just not knowing where to look, and you can feel like you're on an island and you don't need to feel like that.
It's interesting you talk about the mentorship and you talk about that kind of support group and that community. And even though it's very early stages for the association, it's exciting to be a part of. And I guess what I'm wondering is, from your point of view, with your experience, Lindsey, what do you feel as though the fitness industry landscape actually looks like in the next 5 years?
To me, the opportunity to meet people in the consumer land, when I'm talking about Amazon Prime and some of these people that are not maybe currently exercising, how we're going to help support their new daily habits. The other thought that pops into my head right away is what I believe to be hopefully a growing trend around prevention when it comes to the medical world, and more documentaries out than ever around food as medicine, and just a lot of the things that if you're in our industry, you understand because you crave those things. But if you're not, how are you being introduced to the idea of eating more vegetables and less saturated fats and things or moving your body daily? And I think that we're going to see a big tidal wave of disruption from the standpoint of content being able to be streamed through people's phones, computers, and televisions. And hopefully with that combined with some education around prevention and staying healthy longer, that we will see a new wave of people enter our industry as participants, and then business leaders as well, creating the businesses they want to see. I think about my 87-year-old grandma who was told, I think it was 4 years ago, that she was down the path of becoming diabetic because she was overweight and they were going to have to put her on a daily pill. And she just didn't want anything to do with that. And she modified her diet, lost 60 pounds, and didn't have to go on that pill, and is doing great. and can't, her biggest bragging point, and if anyone that'll listen, is that she's going to be a great grandma this month. And so, more power to her. I'm the next step is silver sneakers. I'm like, glad you got the diet dialed in, but it's time to start moving more than just walking. But I think that I really hope anyway that that's what we see happen, that we see lots of people start to join our industry from a consumer standpoint, and that allows more business opportunities to support what they're craving.
Lindsey, I couldn't agree more. And I, for one, hope that we see a lot more integration between the fitness and the medical industries, in the future. And I think we're starting to see some small steps moving in that direction. But I hope the next 5 years we'll have a lot more integration between those industries. And as you say, exercise for prevention and looking at how we can integrate both sides of the story. So tell me, what advice would you actually give to women that are perhaps considering starting a career in the fitness industry?
Love that. So, I mean, not only just the fitness industry, but just, women in general, or people in general, is get to know yourself. I remember being in my 20s and landing that job I really wanted, and identifying with that title and wanting to climb the ranks within the company, and taking that on as an identity before really getting to know what it was that I was intrinsically motivated by. And I think the word passion can get thrown around, or these words that describe this like blissful state when we're working. And I think what's more realistic is getting to know yourself on such an intimate level that you understand what intrinsically motivates you, and then finding a role out there in the world, or a job, if you want to call it that aligns with what intrinsically motivates you. And so then it becomes less about the organization helping assign a title to you and then climbing a rank or a ladder, but you really outwardly expressing what it is that is so deeply true within you. Like I know intrinsically that I thrive in a changing environment, and that I am uniquely talented in finding ways of moving with what's happening instead of resisting it. And because I know that, it doesn't matter really what the job is. It's more about finding a way to express that within a circumstance. And so for any young women or old women, or men for that matter, that, getting to know those facts about yourself so that becomes your compass, and it's less about a company saying, I like the way you do that, let's give you a promotion. Because in that circumstance, you might get to be in your 40s and say, I don't really like what's going on here. I want to reshape my life, because you didn't pause to get to know yourself at a younger age.
I am so glad that you shared that, Lindsey, because I know personally I was in exactly the same situation where, you come out of school or university or you study and you find yourself all of a sudden working for an organisation, not necessarily knowing, what it is that you stand for or what the meaning is to you. And I think that is such valuable advice. Have you read Extreme You, Sarah Robb O'Hagan?
No, I haven't, but I've been following her. I listened to the podcast. I have to get the book.
You must read the book. You must read the book, because I think that there's so much in there that you'll kind of be able to relate to, and you'll go, wow, yep, I understand. And for anyone out there that hasn't read the book, go out and get yourself a copy of Extreme You, which was written by Sarah Robb O'Hagan, who's currently the CEO of Flywheel Sports. And it delves a lot into that area that you just touched on. And I think it's something we can all have a think about. And thank you so much for sharing that advice with us, Lindsey. So last but not least, tell us, how do women go about joining WIFA if they're not already part of the association?
Oh, yes, this is easy. So they can go to our website, which is womeninfitness.org. And once you get to that website, it's super easy. You can just click to join, and it's like buying Amazon groceries. It's that easy. You just click and there you go. And then we'll send you a welcome email and get you all set up on the website and expose you to all the benefits. But it really is as easy as going to the website and learning more.
Perfect. So we'll pop the link for that in this week's show notes as well. So, Lindsey, one last thing. I'm hoping that you can give us your Fitbispiration, which is how we like to finish our interviews each week, and tell us your top 3 tips for running a successful fitness business. We'll be back with Lindsey in just a moment. First, here's a quick message from one of our podcast partners. Team Rockstar Fit is an award-winning mastermind team that helps fit pros lead happy and balanced lives. Get mentoring and support. Learn how to grow your business online with Beachbody. You can apply for a free consultation today at teamrockstarfit.com.
So I think determining who your customer really is and trying not to be all things to all people is a big one. So not being afraid to really hone in on who it is your unique customer is, and then serving them to the absolute best of your ability. And I think I said it earlier, but my second one would be willing to ask for help. But then as soon as you ask for help, be willing to actually do something about it. Because I help a lot of people. It's like, wait, now we have to do stuff? Oh yeah, change requires effort and action. So if you're going to ask for help, be willing to move your feet. And then in that same breath, I think it's really easy to be dreamy and kind of head in the clouds about what it is that you want to do. In my experience, the only way those dreams actually come to fruition is if you have them backed up by daily discipline. So if you're going to be a dreamer, be willing to back it up with some discipline, because that's how real, things actually happen and come to fruition, is when we take our dreams and we harness them with actionable things that we can do every day.
Thank you so much for coming along today. Congratulations again on everything that you've achieved throughout 2017. I cannot wait to see what 2018 has in store. Thank you for sharing the information with us in regards to WIFA, and all the very best for the upcoming arrival.
Thank you. And likewise, I really appreciate you having me on the show, and your contributions to our industry are so important. So thank you for all you do.
Absolute pleasure. I am so excited to be able to tell you that Lindsey welcomed her new baby boy into the world just days after we recorded that interview. So a big congratulations to Lindsey and her husband Jeremy on the arrival of their little boy Oliver.
Get ready for this week's bonus segment, your extra injection of information, education, and inspiration to strengthen your fitness business.
Our special guest today is Cassie Lambert, the founder of CassieLynLambert.com. Welcome along to the show, Cassie.
Hi, Chantel. Thank you so much for having me.
Tell us a little bit about your business.
So I am an online trainer. I specifically help women strength train with a program I developed called Lift Like a Boss, where I help women break free from the fads and frustrations so they can lift their way to a strong rockin' bod.
Well, first and foremost, congratulations on a very cool program name, Lift Like a Boss.
Thank you. I mean, that's really how I want women to feel. I want them to be able to confidently go into the weight room, pick up weights, not be worried about what anybody else is thinking about them, and take that confidence with them in everything else they do, whether it's with their family, whether it's to work, whether it's in the kitchen, wherever it may be. I want them to feel confident in everything that they're doing.
Now, Cassie, you run a full-time fitness business, and I know that you're a mum of 2 kids, so no doubt life is very busy for you. Do you want to share with us your number one tip for remaining productive and staying on top of a busy workload?
Yeah, I really think in order to remain productive, you have got to develop a me time mindset. And I've kind of broken those down into 3 really important ways that I do that. The first way is spend the first moments of your day in peace. That means you wake up before everybody else is awake in your house, or where your clients are awake, or people that you're corresponding with, so you cannot be bothered. No electronics. You're just going to, maybe you sit outside, or maybe you just sit there on your couch, just in peace, have clarity, kind of run through what you're going to be doing for that day, and push away anything that probably didn't go right the day before. You can't do anything about it, and you want to start every day with that clear frame of mind. And the second thing is brain fuel. So we're always telling our clients, you need to eat to fuel your body for your workouts. But then as, busy professionals, we don't follow that advice. We'll go. We'll forget to eat in the middle of the day. I've done it so many times, especially when I'm in creative mode. So you want to start out in the morning actually fueling your body. Your brain needs it if you're going to be, at your best throughout your day, and there for your clients and there for your business. And the third way is gym therapy. Do not wait until the afternoon to get that workout in. You will likely be stressed out because you're pushing it aside, because you're helping those people that, you're worried about helping those people. And when you get in creative mode, you're not going to want to stop doing that work to go work out. So just get it done right away. And then you can say, okay, I've already taken care of myself. Now let me go take care of all those other people that I'm trying to help.
You know what, Cassie? We are huge fans of having a morning ritual here on the show, and we've had a number of our ultra high performers, our fitness leaders, talk about their morning ritual. So I want to thank you for coming on and telling us all about yours, the Me Time mindset. And I believe that you've got a little something to help our listeners who want to create their own Me Time mindset.
I do. I've actually broken this down for everyone if they would like to get their hands on it. And that is at CassieLynnLambert.com/FitBiz podcast. That's FITBIZ podcast.com.
Well, thank you so much for creating that. So that's a PDF that everyone can download with those 3 sections. Is that right?
Yep. I've broken it all down so you can kind of make it your own.
That is phenomenal. Cassie, thank you so much for coming on. I want to congratulate you also on your website. And crew, if you've got the opportunity to jump over and check out Cassie's website, she's been able to create it in a way that the imagery and the language that she uses really shows her personality and the energy that she has as a trainer. So Cassie, I want to congratulate you on that because it's not easy to get that across in your website. And thank you so much for coming on today and talking to us about your Me Time mindset and giving us a great tip for remaining productive and staying on top of a busy workload.
Well, thank you, Chantal. I really appreciate the opportunity to come on here and talk with everyone.
A quick reminder to everyone also that if you missed that website address, just head over to the show notes at fitnessbusinesspodcast.com. I'll make sure that we put a link to Cassie's website and also to that PDF download in today's show notes.
Pre-Core Quickfire 5.
Carrie Keppel is the club manager of Les Mills Newmarket in Auckland, New Zealand. She's recently been appointed on the IHRSA Board of Directors and is a founding member of the Women in Fitness Association. Carrie, welcome along to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Are you ready for your pre-core quickfire 5 questions?
Sure.
Tell everyone, why do you do what you do?
That's a big question. I think for me, it's comes from a place of purpose, of helping a cause that is greater than myself and just helping as many people as possible live happy, healthy lives and in turn, making our world a better place. Yeah, look, if I can look back and retire from this industry one day and know that I helped millions of people get into fitness and live a happy life, then that would be a dream. But the ultimate thing is right now, I feel like I'm already a part of that with helping to influence that every day through my roles with Les Mills and IHRSA. So yeah, it's a reason to get out of bed every morning.
And tell everyone, what's the best piece of advice that you've ever received?
From my mother, as most of us would say, but do what you love and trust that success will find you. Whether success for you means money or titles or whatever, the point is if you focus on doing what you love and serving others, all of those things will find you. But if you chase those things first, you won't find true happiness and love for what you do.
What a beautiful piece of advice. And tell us, what's a personal habit that helps you become better at what you do?
Yeah. So every day I have a question I ask myself, which is, am I operating in the sweet spot? And what the sweet spot means is an equal balance of giving to others, giving to myself, and giving to the bigger picture. And so it's all about living in balance so that you don't burn out, because if I burn out, it really impacts the people who count on me every day. So it's just a daily question just to check in and see, where am I at? We tend to sometimes fall into habits where maybe we're giving too much to other people and not giving yourself what you need. And it can just make you go out of balance. So that's a big thing for me, is to check in every day with that.
That's a great little ritual to have each day. And what's one book, podcast, or blog that you would recommend and why?
Oh, well, this one, of course.
Great answer.
Yes. I honestly, I like a real variety of things. It's very hard for me to pick just one. I know that that's a bit of a cop-out, but I read books on leadership and mindfulness. But if I was to look for blogs or articles, I'm pretty addicted to LinkedIn, to be fair. I go on there every day. There's always something that comes up on my feed about fitness, business, or leadership, or the things that I'm interested in. And so many quality articles that I can then easily share with my team and my management team here and staff here that are relevant to our world. And yeah, I just find that LinkedIn right now for me has been very, very useful.
You know what? I think that's a great suggestion, because sometimes we do spend a lot of time online kind of looking here, there and everywhere to search for content that's relevant to us. But as you say, you just jump onto LinkedIn and it's all there for you.
Yeah. And it sort of remembers what you're into. And I think it takes into account, I don't know, I'm not an IT expert, but it seems like it takes into account, your profile and your background and your experience and all of your interests, as well as, the people that you are following, and it pulls all of that up onto your feed. And yeah, it just seems a great resource.
There's definitely some intelligent algorithms at play there, serving up the information that you need. And Carrie, last but not least, what are you going to be sharing with us in next week's show?
How to get the most out of your club operations, and in particular, potentially sharing what we have done here at this Newmarket Club in our unique design of the facility that has then changed the way we look at capacity management, and it has been the ultimate key in getting us to filling this club to its full capacity in under 2 years. So yeah, it's been a real eye-opener.
Yeah, we would love to dive into that and hear about what you've actually done, because I mean, it's obviously a real landmark organisation and a facility that I know that we can learn a lot from. So I'm really interested to chat to you about that, and of course also some more women in fitness themed conversations. So Carrie, thank you very much for dropping by and joining us for the Pre-Call Quickfire 5 today.
You're welcome. Thanks so much for having me.
In that show, Carrie shares some really interesting and detailed information about the structure of the Les Mills Club that she manages in New Zealand, where group fitness is the main focus of the organisation. So make sure you tune in for that one. Thank you to all of you for including the Fitness Business Podcast as part of your weekly professional development. I'd love you to share the show with your team, and don't forget you can find all of the resources, links and transcripts for today's show at fitnessbusinesspodcast.com. Thanks to all of our partners for their support, and to our foundation partner, Active Management. You can go to fitnessbusinesspodcast.com/active for a free business development ebook. That's everything for this week, and I will see you next week. Remember, what you leave behind is not what's engraved in stone monuments, but what is woven into the lives of others.